And it's a new week, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing awesome, man. Glad to be here on the Crucible with you, my buddy Pauly, and
Yeah, buddy.
we got some friends on today, or at least one good friend on today that we haven't. I
We
haven't
got a
actually,
friend. We
haven't
got a
actually
friend.
been with this guy on the air in my life. I've spoken to him many times, back and forth over the past few years,
What, like
and
ham radio or something? What?
actually, yeah, through a ham radio, through some smoke signals.
Okay.
Guys, you're listening to the Crucible. Welcome to the show. My
Thanks
name's
for joining
Emil.
us. I am Paulie. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, and guys, don't forget. I forgot to mention this last time. I think we do have a giveaway: 5-ounce silver poured piece. You know how to do it. 3 ways to win. You can find the information in the description section below. Check that out.
Down below. And you didn't forget to mention it. You just waited to the end of the video because we like to be sneaky every once in a while, but we don't want to always be sneaky. We want you to get signed up to win his silver. That's what we
Our
want.
silver. Get
Our
you some
silver.
free. So 5 ounces.
Our.
That's not something to be reckoned with.
No, before we get going, we didn't get a spot check price. Last I looked, it was 27 and some change. I did not look at gold. Maybe that's something you could find out for us here in just a
Gold
second.
was about 23.30 something.
Oh, so
roughly.
still right around there, right? So it's been 2 weeks since that 2 weeks ago since we started talking about FOMO and how
Right.
we both kind of talked about how we'd like to just see it kind of
plateau,
stay level for a little bit. And
yeah.
this is 2 weeks of it now, so not so bad.
So I have to bring up real quick. 2 weeks ago, we aired the episode of FOMO on the one side of, is it the right time to buy? Am I missing out on the upswing? And I got to say, we got a lot of comments saying, no, you're crazy. You should be selling right now. So subsequent week, last week, we did an episode on, do you want to be missing out on the opportunity to sell right now? Like, so FOMO from the opposite side.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of hate on that one too, saying, no, now's the time to buy.
Yeah.
So what I've come to find is that there's a great divide between this community on what to do. And everybody has their own opinion and they're very, very rigid, firm-footed on what they believe. And that's kind of what we're here to do. We're here to spark up that conversation, see the different perspectives, which leads us into our guest today. We have Silver Heist. Let's go ahead and bring him on.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Welcome.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on as a guest. I'm excited.
Thanks for being on, man. All right.
Thank you.
We were just bringing up how, people have their own opinions and their own methods to stacking. And we know that you do. You've mentioned in all of your videos your method over the years. And I guess let's start with, how many years have you been stacking?
I think it was like 2018. I'm not sure if I started making videos in 2018 or 2019. Probably 2018. I think it was probably like December 2017 I started stacking. And then by 2018 in the summer, I started a YouTube channel to document my coin roll hunting escapades. And so I think I started my YouTube channel about a month after Silver Dragons and a week before Yankee stacking.
Oh, so you're an OG.
Big content creators, right? Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but I do remember those two guys, and they had lightning in a bottle, and those two just took off, and they partnered up. It's the longest running partnership since I don't know, George Burns and his wife or something like that. I'm not really sure. I mean, those two just complement each other and just both fun and informative, and just really took off.
Excellent. So can you tell us a little bit about maybe what you've learned over the years and what's worked for you and what hadn't?
Yeah, I would say what's worked for me is to kind of just start from a base before you go venturing off, because there's a lot of directions you can go to. So because I was a coin collector when I was a kid, I started with constitutional silver. So when I first started out, I would go to a coin show or flea market, and I would get junk silver or constitutional silver, and I kind of just stuck with what I knew. And then eventually I branched out into other things, bullion, maples, and eagles, but I was kind of cheap. So I wanted low premium things. Somewhere along the way, I got the idea that I could buy collectible coins and flip them on eBay, even though I don't have an eBay store and I've still yet to have an eBay store. So I think that's probably one of the detours I took, not in a big way, but you can't buy Spider-Man coins like the other guy unless you have a place to sell them at. So what's the point?
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct.
So I think I have a little of this and a little of that, but then I really tried to just focus on. It was easy to wrap my mind more around better premium priced bullion, 10-ounce bars, and stayed away from eagles for a long stretch. But now I thought eagles got more reasonable the last 24 months, and I'm kind of making up for lost time on the eagle front. So
yeah, I might say eagles probably in the last 2 to 3 months have really become, I don't know, more appetizing or more palatable with the premium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned a base of the stack. What's your base?
Based right now, well, I'm not really good at inventory and spreadsheets, because the problem with spreadsheets is that you have to do the data entry, or that you wish you collected something else. Like, well, what was the spot price then? Or how many ounces did I really buy? And so like, I always have a problem like envisioning what data I wanted to collect. And then I have to be good at collecting it. So in some ways, it's easier for me to just buy from 1 or 2 bullion dealers. I can just look at my emails. What did I buy? What did I buy in June? What did I buy in May? And I can almost just look at like 10 emails and figure out like what's my dollar cost average that way, and just do it on the fly. Or instead of a spreadsheet, if I just open up, where I store my coins, and if I have them in full tubes of eagles or 10-ounce bars, 10-ounce bars are pretty easy to count. I got 10, I got 10 more, I got 10 more. Kilos a little harder to count, 32 ounces, but they're good premium. And so the fun thing about kilos is that when you buy one and then you buy another, and then you've got 3, you're like, wow, that's like 96 ounces. I bought 96 ounces. Like, that was a great accomplishment, 96 ounces. So they all add up no matter what you're buying. And sometimes it's 2 eagles, sometimes it's 20 eagles, but they all add up. And if you can just put them out there and you can count them, 20, 20, 20, 20, pretty soon you've got 100 eagles.
Oh yeah. Now, you had mentioned that you had tried to, or you had at least had the thought of selling on eBay. Have you offloaded any of your precious metals holdings over the years?
Very little. I think I've done like a couple of live stream shows, really just for fun. One time I did want to, raise some money. I wanted to just free up some cash. And so I did sell some, and I sold more of the collectible items. So I did go on YouTube Live, and Pauly helped a little bit, as did Directive Awesome, and as did you, because I think I talked to you about sort of pricing, like, what are these worth? What are these worth? Can I get my price, or do I get someone else's price? And so it's hard, and I commend those who are able to do it and keep it entertaining, or do it and ship. Everyone's a critic. I have had Christmas shows, which isn't really selling. I do a Christmas show each year where I invite people to, instead of bring a gift, which was a logistical nightmare with the mail, it's sort of like, well, how about you buy a gift? I'll buy 20 gifts. You buy a gift. It's a hidden gift. You don't know what you're buying until you plunk the money down. Kind of like your black bags of silver, your mystery bags.
Yep.
And so it's like that, but wrapped up in Christmas. And so that was great fun. But if people don't get their coins right away around Christmas, boy, are they angry. It's hard to do tremendous customer service. I want to, but I always can't. So when you do it just sporadically, you don't have a system. So.
Oh, you're absolutely right. No, I've been there. I know exactly what that's like. But so yeah, that's great that you got that muscle flexed on offloading. Now,
Just a little.
you mentioned also dollar cost average.
Yes.
Let's say we're brand new to this arena. We've not really bought a whole lot, not really sold anything. What does dollar cost averaging mean, and how is that a method that you can employ to your benefit when talking about increasing your physical holdings?
I think what it means to me is just to buy consistently. So if I buy once a month and I want to make a sizable purchase and just do it once a month, then when it's payday and that's time that I have the most money available, then I'm just buying. And if the price spot is up or spot is down, I'm buying what I'm buying. Like, I don't want to miss a month, whether it's a silver purchase or a combination of gold and silver at the same time. So I just buy. And then if I just bought and then there's a dip or something else happens, like, it's not like I can do it again. It's like, especially with buying online, like, you buy and then you have to wait like a week for the electronic check to clear. Then they ship it to you. So you kind of get like the thrill of the hunt. Then you have to be patient. Then you have to be a little bit more patient. And that whole period of time, sometimes, a better deal comes along, but it's like, hey, I've already scratched that itch. I've got coins on the way. That's it. Like, I can't get more,
Yeah.
And people say, hey, did you buy the dip? If there's a dip in 3 weeks, maybe,
And that's, you talk about buying online. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're in a state where don't you have to buy a certain amount to avoid different fees or different taxes? So that that does put kind of a damper on your buying if that's how you're buying online, right?
Yeah. I mean, that $200 for free shipping, that's a drop in the bucket. And my tax, to avoid sales tax, avoid 6% sales tax, I need to actually spend $1,000.
I couldn't remember what it was, but that's what it was, right?
If I spent $900, they'll tax me $60. I might as well spend $1,000 and get a couple more ounces of silver and not put the money in the tax man's pocket.
Right.
So that's a high burden. $1,000 is a lot for me. And if I can do it once a month or 2 times every 3 months, so be it. But I can't turn around and do it again. And then buying a couple hundred doesn't do me any help if I'm on $1,000.
Sure. You'll end up in a hole, right?
Yeah, the 6% tax. I don't think that's going to cover the dip. So I might as well just stick to my guns. So,
do you do any private purchasing, like from a local seller or anything like that?
Very little. I kind of like the online because for a while I kind of like the thrill of the hunt and just shopping for a deal. But I found that I really just circled around 3 dealers, and now I've kind of narrowed it to 2. So frankly, it's sort of easier for me to just go to 1 or 2 and less about the hunt and more about the monthly goal is kind of more important to me at this point than the hunt itself. There was a time where the hunt was the fun part.
Yeah.
Now I'm beyond the hunt. Now I'm just stacking. So,
yeah.
But I do occasionally go to a coin show, but I usually just get like a 1 ounce coin. I just visit somebody and get a piece of bullion from somebody. Not making those good local coin store connections like I'd like to, but out there a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So would you say that's a pretty big part of any stacker, new, old, doesn't matter, sticking to your budget, at least having a budget and saying, this is what I have. It's either this or really nothing, because I know you've talked about it and I've talked about it. Like, it could be, that budget could be 20 ounces this month. If the price goes up, it could be 12, 15, 16 ounces. I'm talking silver here for the following month. I mean,
Right.
would you increase that budget and risk yourself going into the hole somewhere else, or just stick with that budget, buy the 12 over top the 20, and hopefully next month you can go back to getting the 20?
I think for me, the 1,000 is such a stretch. It's a doable stretch, but like there's no stretching beyond it.
Sure.
So,
Okay.
so like, and I don't have numbers at the top of my head, but I've done videos where I'm like, look, this is what I got. I got a piece of gold and I got this many ounces of silver. Oh, the prices went up or down. Now I got a piece of gold and I got a different amount of silver. So like, it is what it is kind of thing. So maybe now that I've been buying, a tube of Eagles, a 1/4 ounce gold and a tube of Eagles is busting $1,000.
Yeah, because you did really well on the 1/10 ounce gold Eagles.
Yeah.
It had something to do with your truck payment was done, and
Yeah.
you were able to just keep making that payment, but you're basically making that payment to yourself in the form of a gold Eagle, maybe 2 sometimes.
Right. It kind of captured my imagination because I'm like, if I'm not paying $200 something for a car payment anymore, then boom, then there's my 1/10 ounce gold. And
Nice.
It's like, I can see a path. So once I saw a path,
Sure.
then that was part of my consistency. So if I have a couple $100, then if I can scrape some more money together, if I can make that $1,000 order, avoid the sales tax and lock in gold and lock in some other silver, then I was sitting pretty. And I'm not quite like maybe some other channels that would say, oh, it's the 2nd of the month. I got my 1/10 ounce of gold. Like sometimes it was the 2nd of the month. Sometimes it was the 27th of the month. Sometimes it was the 3rd of the next month. And I'd buy 2 of them. So I wasn't a slave to like the schedule. I just kind of went with the flow.
That's what's great about it is it's not just one size. I mean, it's one size fits all. Like you said, just because you couldn't buy that month doesn't mean you can't buy last month's. You can't buy June's coin in July, but then also buy July's coin in July. It's okay to miss it. It's not the end of the world.
Exactly. And I think with my tax threshold, that kind of helped because I
Sure.
would be bundling like an order. I'd sort of like overlap 2 months in a way that would work in my favor. So like if I could get June's gold and July's gold and then July silver, then I was sitting pretty. So
That's awesome. So it sounds like the key takeaway here is that being forced into a budget, whether it be because of tax reasons or whatever, forces you to dollar cost average and also kind of makes you exempt from the whole FOMO scenario, which I think is a pretty safe way to go when dealing with this arena. The FOMO often gets people, and then that can often turn people off to precious metals as a whole. At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
especially new folks getting into it. Especially new folks getting into it. I mean, they get into it at, let's just say they got in at, they were paying $36 for an Eagle, and now what do they do? It's okay. This stuff isn't worth that now. Now you can buy them for $28, $29. They have to sit there and wait on that or take a loss. I mean, it turns a lot of people off.
Right.
I think I still like collectible coins. I still like a good modern piece dollar, and I still like a kookaburra. But I think I've shrunk the options, and so I think that's helped with the fear of missing out, or just chasing the next new thing. It's not even. I'm not even sure it's fear of missing out, but there's a nice new shiny thing.
Right.
It's like there's
hard.
A lot of nice shiny things.
There is.
There's too many.
It's almost as if they know that we're attracted to shiny things. So.
We're doomed.
I know it's like an addiction sometimes, but they know what they're doing. They put out some pretty cool pieces. But
absolutely. So,
can you are you able to name drop your suppliers, your dealers?
The people I like to buy from?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. So actually, I'm an AppMex affiliate. I'm an AppMex ambassador.
Nice. All right. Look at you.
Hell yeah.
But they don't tie my hands. They've never told me I can't talk about someone else. I buy from Monument Metals. I interviewed the gentleman from Monument Metals before I hooked up with AppMex. He's a great guy. I love that company. But I also always bought from AppMex too. especially with more of the collectible stuff. But
Mm.
I've actually found if I'm really picky and I hunt like Black Friday or the 29th of February leap year sale, like I can find deals, and I can show people tubes of eagles I bought for under $29 at Amex. And so I've gotten good deals here and there, or a 10-ounce bar. So there's a bunch of places. And the third one I like Keith Neumeyer and First Majestic Silver Mine, and they have their own bullion store where they
Yes.
used to have Scottsdale make the bars for them, and now they've got their own mint. So I like buying the 10-ounce bars from Keith Neumeyer's store. So kind of
Very
I
neat.
shrunk it down to 3. So my money doesn't go to Hong Kong like it used to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I've never had any bad experiences, but there was a time where I sent money to Hong Kong, and then I think China was flexing their muscles a little bit, and my FedEx plane got delayed in Taiwan for a couple of days, but it made it out.
Well, now, by chance, was this for like one of the Gods of Olympus pieces or something like that LPM put out?
It was LPM. If it wasn't Gods of Olympus, it might have been like the Three Graces or something.
Oh, okay.
You know, like the Una and the Lion, but maybe
Yeah.
the Three Graces. So I might have I think I got that from LPM. So I've gone from LPM 2 or 3 times, and it wasn't a bad thing, but I just thought, you know what, if my plane gets delayed in like a Asian skirmish, then there goes my silver.
Nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
No. It's stuck. It's
It
stuck
is.
right there.
It is. It's stuck on an island with Tom Hanks and Castaway. My silver bars. So
Heist, any big flops that you've experienced in your stacking journey? Any big mistakes?
let's see. I'm not sure. I mean, probably just buying the collectible coins that I had no exit plan for. That's probably the biggest thing. I do have a video coming up soon when I take the time to do it. Probably my biggest mistake is that I was somewhat new, and I hadn't discovered the idea of my car payment being the discipline I needed to be a regular gold buyer. So Canada had this special 6-coin gold series, and I thought, I'll buy that. It's like a subscription. And so I thought, wouldn't it be great to get like a gold coin every 2 months from the Royal Canadian Mint? But then COVID hit, they delayed it a couple months. And then I started to think, like, why did I buy this super high premium stuff? And once I'm like in coin 3, I couldn't back out.
Yeah, you're in it at that point.
I might as well go for all 6. And the 6 box I actually never opened. I misplaced it for a long time, and it's from 2020, and I just found it recently.
Nice.
So that's my biggest mistake. I'm going to do an unboxing of the coin from 2020.
Wow.
Jeez, that's awesome.
So
I guess I got to ask, where did you find this mysterious, mistakenly hidden box at?
I think it's one of those things where you find like an alternative hiding place, and you hit it so good you can't remember where you hit it.
Oh, there it is. I remember now.
Yes. So
All right,
it's crazy.
Heist.
Yes.
Let's give you a scenario and see what you would do. All right,
Okay.
you come across some life circumstance that's going to require a significant amount of money. You don't have that liquid; it's all tied up in metals. How do you offload? What's your strategy?
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm not sure. I mean, one thing, would be AppMex, like AppMex or the other big dealers. You can send them to them. So
Right.
I could just call them up and I could say, I've got a couple ounces of 1/10 ounce gold coins, and I'm sure they'd be happy for it. I think they'd give me a quote. They'd probably send me like a label with like insurance and stuff, and I just put it in a good box and ship it to them, and then they'd drop me money in the mail, or maybe they'd send it to me PayPal or something. I'm not really sure how they do it, but you get your money later. So that's kind of the easiest way. I've bought from a coin dealer nearby, but not a lot. But if I went in there, maybe I could sell my gold or silver to him. But I wouldn't go in with like Monument Metal or Atmex flips on the coins.
Right.
That would just make him angry.
Right, I hear that.
So
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a good thing to touch on. Is we get so deep into stacking and collecting that a lot of times we don't think about, well, what if? Like, well, what if I do need to do something to get rid of some of this? And that was kind of the point of what me and my wife did there a couple weeks ago. Was I needed to show her that it can be turned back into the precious paper that she knows so well, and can put trust that what is in the safe is actually something worth value and not just a trinket.
yeah, that's awesome. I saw parts of that video, and I think that was my favorite takeaway of the deal.
It actually, and this is no joke, it actually brought us, not that we're ever separated, but it brought us closer together as like a I consider our family a business, right? So it brought our business that much closer together that now she can actually see it and realize that it's something, not just nothing,
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about stuff like this, yeah, that's a little different. But the stuff that we're putting away that actually holds the value for us for the reason we're buying it is the stuff that we had to show. I had to show that there was a way to turn it into something that she's familiar with.
Yeah, no, that's good. I've kind of had more experience on the buying side with the wife. So she watches all my videos. So she knows I spent money. And then she knows when the FedEx guy, the UPS guy is showing up. So, it's like, oh, you've got a box. And then the only time she gets mad is like, you know what? The other day I was wanting to buy something and I said no. And then all of a sudden you got 2 boxes.
Oh my God.
So you can't be getting boxes when she's like, self-moderating her own purchases. So, I think people want to buy. And so I think, so she knows what I buy, but no man ever got in trouble for buying a gold kookaburra.
I would agree with that.
She likes the gold. She likes the 1/10 of gold and the silver too. Yeah, my wife likes the gold too. She's got her own stash. It is arguably about 4 times more than the gold that I own. There you go. So you just got to kick them a 1 ounce here and there, and they kind of leave you alone. There's a jewelry store nearby, and I've bought a couple of gold charms. Mm. So she has like a bear, like a Russian bear charm, and so yeah, you can always buy your wife a gold charm. Very nice. Right on. All right, Paul, you got anything else?
No, I mean, we touched on it. I mean, this was really good. This was really fun. I appreciate it, Heist, for joining us on the Crucible, episode 34, by the way.
She's already. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, thanks so much for being on the show, Heist. This is great. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm excited. I do watch you guys' show, and I've always appreciated.
See, we found another one. We found another one.
Yep, something happened. He froze.
That's all right. You know what that means? It's that time.
It is that time, guys. If you want to get a hold of Silver Heist, we're going to have his information in the description section
be down below. That's right.
Oh, there he is.
Any last words, Heist?
Thanks for having me on. Look forward to watching some of you guys' future content.
And then this happened.
Exactly.
And then this happened. All right, folks. We will see you next week. Heist, hang out for a second.